Let us start with the classes and methods. The methods are functions defined inside the class. Methods are always defined inside a class in order to make the relationship between the class and methods explicit. The syntax of invoking the method is different from syntax of calling a function. Now, as a beginning, we can at the beginning we will justify what's the necessity of method. What happens if methods are not defined instead of methods, if we use functions, what is the problem? That we will discuss here. First, let us see a function print time. The print time is a pure function. Okay, it is not defined inside the class. It is a pure function which displays hours, minutes and seconds in the form of %.2d, %.2d, %.2d by separating with the colon. Now, when you are going to call print time function, you are calling it independently by using the object start, because start object is already created with the hour, minute, second. When you call print time function, it displays the result in this format because it is told to display in 2 digits hours, 2 digits minutes and in 2 digits seconds. Now, inside the class, if you define print time function by taking time as the parameter, and in this same method, if you are going to display, what happens? The displaying format is same, but when you are defining the method inside the class, now this is a method, it is not a function. The method need to be invoked using the object, but here the method is invoked using the class name, but this is very less commonly used. That's class name dot print time function, then passing the object. It displays the same result, but the start is the object need to be transferred to the print time function. Now, what happens if you try to call this way, start dot print time? This is a more concise way to call the print time function. Now, the start is need to be taken as parameter, okay, because it is called with the start object. When you invoke print time function with the start object in this way, then the start object is passed as parameter as time here, and it will display the hours, minutes, second in this way. Okay, this is one way of invoking print time function. But by convention, always when an object is passed as a by convention, when an object invokes the function, then that object is received as self in the method. Therefore, this becomes self.hour, this becomes self.minute, and this becomes self.second. Now, if you try to run, you get the same result. Let us start with another example. Define increment as a function. When it is inside the class, it becomes method. Now increment is a method with the two parameters, self and sequence. Now sequence is incremented by self dot time to int. You know that time to int is a function which converts time to integer and it adds to second. Then this whatever sequence you converted is converted back to time by using int to. But if you try to call the increment function with the two parameters, that is 1337 and 460, then it gives the error because the increment function takes two parameters, self and sequence, and this becomes one more parameter, third parameter. Therefore it gives type error. Increment takes two positional arguments but three were given. Now we see init method. The init method stands for initialization, which is a special method that gets invoked when an object is instantiated. Its full name is init with the two underscore at prefix and suffix. Now if you take class time, inside the class time, init method is defined in this way, which takes self method as a parameter, one of the parameter, and hours, minutes, second as a formal parameters with the default values. Now if you try to work with this init method in the Jupyter, you can see in the class time, in the previous program, in the class time, where there is a init method defined in this way with the object name self and hours, minutes, second, HMS as a formal parameter. Now which object is created, it is taken as self keyword. It is taken as the object with the self keyword. Now self.hour is attribute which is assigned with the H, self.minutes assigned with M, self.seconds assigned with the S. I have changed here formal parameter names as H, M, S, which is assigned to hours, minutes, seconds. Okay, thus this init method works when the object is created. When you try to create the object without any parameters or with any parameter, for example here you have created the object with the 3 parameters, okay, 23, 56, 10. And here when you create object with 3 parameters, 23, 56, 10 will be assigned to self.hour, self.minute and self.second. Okay, if you want to see more properly, I just work with this program in a simpler way. Now define init method inside the class. This is for constructor, okay, initialization, okay. Init method stands for initialization, okay, which is nothing but to initialize object attributes. Now when you create the object with the object name t1 equal to with the class name time, okay, without any argument, then if you try to display the hours, minutes, second, it displays 0. It takes hours, minutes, second as 0. You can display it, you can check it by displaying. Here str method gives a method to return object in the form of string. Now if you try to print the object by using print function, which is inbuilt function, now if you run, it gives 0, 0, 0, because when creating or during creation of the object you are not passed any parameter, therefore it assigns default values 0, 0, 0. Now if you try to create one more object, t2 equal to time in bracket hours, minutes, seconds and if you display then it gives 10 hours, 24 minutes and 58 seconds, okay, hours, minutes, second. Now what happens, 10, 24, 58 is passed as h, m, s, which overrides default value, and it will be stored in the attributes of the object and it is displayed in this way. Now similarly str is a method where it takes self as the parameter and returns the string equivalent of the object in the printable format, which is required to print the object by using normal print function. When you try to print the object by calling print function, then str method will be called and t1 is, or that object, that particular object is transferred as self. And when you try to print t2, t2 is transferred as self, okay, self.hour, self.minute, self.second will be displayed. Means with which object you call print function, that will be taken as self parameter. This is a method. Init also a method which is inside the class and which will be called in different ways. Okay, constructor is called when object is created, okay, in this way. Here when you create the object time t1 equal to time, then object is created, then init method is called. When you create the object t2 equal to time with the parameter, then also init method is called. Print t1 and print t2 cause str functions.